I keep bugging Matthew on it. So hopefully we have some good result on it. But other than that, I enjoy the journey. So thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right.
Thank you. That's awesome. A lot of great results and superstars. Let's keep going and let's we all want to be recognized, right? Next week or tomorrow, by tomorrow, yes. So thank you, Matthew. And now we are time for our training. Awesome training. This awesome, beautiful trainer, whom I have become friend, and I actually look forward to come here every Tuesday and meet her. She has such a great energy, that calm, confident, and I have always looked up to her. And she knows this was during COVID. I remember her first presentation. She had COVID, and she was training us on Zoom, I was very amazed because back in the days, if you have had the COVID, it was not as easy as today's COVID. So we really appreciate that. She's a great trainer, a great mentor, and she's young and beautiful. She has been in this. I think she has grown up in this business. So please give it up for our beautiful trainer, Sheila.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
Linda. Appreciate the introduction. High five, great job emceeing. And actually, just give it up for Lavina because she drives all the way from Marin to come here every Tuesday. She's here. She doesn't complain. What I love, at my work, I still have a full-time job. And every morning, there's something about the traffic. Oh my gosh, the traffic was so bad. Oh my gosh, this and that, and crazy drivers and whatever. But Ludmila comes all the way from Marin County every week, and she never says anything about that. And I appreciate that. And her energy is very appreciated as well. Thank you. Young and beautiful too. Thank you. All right. So good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Awesome. Hope you guys are doing well. We have a little lack of energy today. What's going on? Did you guys eat?
We ate too much.
We
ate too much. Oh, food coma. Yeah, too much moon cake for you. Happy autumn moon. Ed didn't eat enough. He's still hungry, so make sure you eat. Ed. And Cheryl, make sure you eat. But my topic today is on handling objections. So actually, let me pull that up first. I'm gonna share this, and I want to appreciate Jackie. Actually, I got these slides from him, and I just kind of changed it up a little bit, so kind of made it my own. But most of it is just this business is amazing because we basically have the system. It's all laid out for us. All we need to do is just follow, right? So there's really no excuse for us to not be successful here, especially when we have leaders that care about us, and they show us the way, and they hold us accountable, and we just share with them our goals and our dreams, and then they take us where we want to go. So as long as we put in the effort, that's all we need to do, really. All right, because it's all laid out in front of us. So there was in Elite Circle, there's a guy named John Shin. Anyone know who John Shin is? He's a CEO, been in the business for a really long time. I think he's above CEO, but he talked about the yellow brick road. Anyone know? Was not Goldilocks and the Beavers. Wizard of Oz. Anyone seen the Wizard of Oz? Yeah, so they talk about following the yellow brick road, and that yellow brick road is the system, right? And then you have your guides along the way, and those are our coaches, our mentors. But all of us, we have we're all Dorothy, right? And maybe we don't have a brain, and we need to recruit somebody that has a brain, or we don't have a heart, and we got to recruit someone that has a heart, right? So it's the same thing. And then they have a team, and they get to follow the yellow brick road, and they get to where they want to go. But what are some of the things that we need? The art of handling objections is there's many different things. I'm trying to move my, okay, you guys don't see it. All right, so the art of handling objections. Number one is you gotta be confident. If you're not confident about the business, about what we do for people, and you're trying to handle objections, you're trying to handle their concern, answer their questions, and you're shaky, you're like wishy-washy about it, you're uncertain, then that's just a red flag for anybody. Does that make sense? So make sure you're confident. And how do you gain confidence? I will talk about that, but you don't want to feel guilty also. You don't want to from your it's you want to move your mindset, shift your mindset from it's not your loss that they don't want to do the business. It's actually their loss if they don't want to do the business, right? Don't feel guilty if they don't want to do the business. Don't feel guilty if you're even trying to approach them. I know some people when they try and recruit people or even making the phone call to set the appointment, they feel guilty. I was one of them, right? I was one of them because when I first started in the business, I actually hated calling people. I didn't like talking to people on the phone. If it was just like, oh, to hang out or whatever, that was different, right? But then it was always for me, there had to be a reason why I was calling. I'm calling to hang out. Let's schedule, time to go to the movies, or I'm scheduling a time to have lunch with them. It was always for some kind of reason. And when they said, hey, you just need to chit chat with them and set an appointment, it's like, oh my gosh, set an appointment because I want to recruit them and I want to make money from them. It's like, and like that guilt started creeping in, and I'm like, oh, I was so terrible with the invitation. That's not the class for today, but it's about handling objections, right? Don't let their failure affect you. So this is all handling objections in terms of recruiting, right? So don't let their failure affect you. So what does that mean? Like other people's failures, or maybe you were successful at recruiting somebody, you were all excited, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be my superstar, and then they ghost you for the next 2 months or 3 months. How many, you know what I mean by ghosted, right?
Yes.
They just disappear. You don't know what happened to them. The aliens got them, right? So don't let that affect you. Don't take things personally. Understand that some will make it and some will not, right? And everybody has their own pace. Everybody, I called myself a slow cooker today because, I still have a lot of growing to do. I came on board into this business when I was really, really young. I didn't have much experience in the corporate world or in business. My family didn't come from like entrepreneurial background. No one in my family was really an entrepreneur. So I was learning from the bottom up, really just trying to get like all the knowledge. And it's been many years now, and I'm still growing. It's still a work in progress, but you can't, like, for me, I would have quit a long time ago if I kept comparing myself to other people, right, AJ? Like you see people that are in the business for 3 months and they've already hit MD, or you see people that hit CEO and it's only been a year. It's like, oh my gosh, how do they do that? But you can't compare because you don't know what experiences and what hardships and struggles that they went through before they joined WFG, right? But some will make it and some will not. That's okay. Number 2 is leverage. Leverage your leaders and understand that there's a law of average. So I'm sure you understand in real estate, right? It's the law of average. You just gotta cast your net, and then some fish will fall out of the net, right? They'll go through the net. Some just won't stick, and that's okay. But just understand that there's a law of average. If you get a certain number, then another number a smaller number, that average will stick. Okay, focus on the ones who want to make it. So again, don't focus on the ghosts. Don't focus on the people that are wishy-washy. Don't focus on the people that, give you, maybe that are not coachable or that give you the most objections. If they're true objections or true concerns and you want to handle it if it's going to give them confidence to move forward, great. But if they're just giving you objections to like brush you off and kind of just give you a hard time, then you don't want to focus on those people. Find someone new that's easier to work with. And there's podcasts I've listened to. It's like, why do you want to struggle in business when you can have fun and have it be easy too. So for me, that's one of the things that I'm working on is reframing my mindset to make this business fun and know that it's easy, right? I really think it's fun, but sometimes, how many of you think that this is easy? This business is easy. It's not, it's simple. We always say it's simple, but it's not easy. We say that over and over again, but you know what? I personally, I want to shift that mindset to it's simple, it's easy, and it's fun. Because eventually, if I tell myself that over and over again, it will be simple, easy, and fun, right? Who wants a simple, easy, and fun business? Yes. All right. So we gotta grow. And then we gotta focus on results. Focus on results. So the activities are great, but activities without the intention of having results can get us nowhere, right? Activities without the intention of making results can get us nowhere. So make sure that when you are doing all these activities, make sure that you understand what's your outcome going to be. Have that goal so that you can be relentless, right? They say that the average times it takes to close to ask somebody for the sale or the recruit is an average of 5 times, right? So if you don't have that focus, if you don't have that intention going into the appointment that I'm going to close this person, I'm going to get a result, maybe you're going to stop at the first objection or that first, concern, or the second one or the third one, but you're not going to be focused on that result. So you're just going to give up really easily. Does that make sense? So focus on the result. The intention without results is not really a plan, right? Have a vision. Where are you going? Know that there are many dream killers out there, but as long as you hold on to your vision, your goal, your dream, then it doesn't matter. Like, the ghosts that, the ghosts, the aliens that got them, all the things that happen, you stay focused, it keeps you resilient. Objections bother you only if your vision is too short or your goals are too small. So if you have a very small vision, I know Rich Dolly, everybody know who Rich Dolly is? Nobody knows. So Rich Dolly, he's one of the founders of our company. And actually his wife is out of the hospital, by the way. She is home. So she's been in the hospital since the convention in July, but she is home. Now she is halfway through her recovery process, but still a long way to go. But anyway, Rich Dolly, he's a founder of our company, and he talked about like there's this really, really good guy like in the business when he first started. He was a rock star, looked up to him, and he was doing better than Rich. And but then he reached a certain point, and he just completely stopped the business, and he quit. And the reason why is because all he wanted to do was, I forgot, it was something pretty ridiculous. It was like, he just wanted to buy like a car. So he reached his goal in a short period of time and was like, okay, that's his vision. That was his goal. And then I'm done, right? But because Rich's vision was much bigger, he kept going, right? And all the little things that never bothered him, all the small things that didn't bother him. Be positive. I can't tell you like how much this business has changed me into becoming a really positive person. I actually have a sensitivity to negativity. Anyone, you know what I mean? I have a sensitivity to negativity. So if people like just as simple I was talking about today, or earlier, is the traffic. Like I never complain about traffic. Even if I have a long commute, if I have to go to San Jose or Sacramento, I've had to do all of that before. I never complain about traffic because to me, that's just life. It's just something that you have to deal with. You can't really do anything about it, right? But then when I get to work and you're surrounded by that employee mindset, it's like, oh, you complain about every little thing. You can complain about other teams. You complain about stuff. And sometimes I just like to put my earbuds on and just finish working, right? I'll talk to you during lunch. So be positive. It takes you a long way, and people can be attracted to your energy. If you are negative, right? Do other people want to be around you? Maybe you attract people that are also negative, and then you talk, and then they start forming cliques, right? And then they start gossiping about other people. So that's just all wrong. But when you're positive, you attract many different circles, right? So if you can't be a net, if you're not going to go out there and throw your net out, be a magnet, right? Be that magnet of positivity and attract people to you. Okay. Yeah, people are attracted to your attitude. Can you stay positive as long as it takes to make your dream come true? That's a challenge, right? So for especially those of you that are newer in this business, can you stay positive as long as it takes to make your dreams come true? Right? Be relentless. So actually, just a little bit more about that. To me, I kind of feel sad for people that don't do the business anymore because they couldn't stay positive enough. They didn't have a big enough vision that they just let go of their dreams. They just let it go. And when they're in this business, maybe even if it's for a month or maybe it's a year and they fizzle, they had a taste of it. They had a taste of what life could be like because maybe they came to the convention, but they couldn't stay positive enough to see it through. And to me, that makes me feel sad, right? But again, can't focus on them, just keep on going, right? Be relentless. Your belief attracts people. When you have such strong belief in the business, in the company, in the leaders, in our platform, in our products, people can say whatever they want to say, negative things they want to say about us. But when you know it in your heart that this is good, that we have the right leadership, we have the right products, we have the right system that's going to take us to where we want to go, it doesn't even nothing phases us anymore. You're going to be relentless. You will get to your goals and dreams. I know, I guess, one of our team name was Team Relentless. We don't have that. We don't do that anymore. We're aligned with Dream Builders, but we wanted to keep that spirit, and that's one of the reasons why I believe that a lot of my team, they have that sense of staying power because they are also relentless. So what's your theme of your business? What kind of team members do you want to attract? When you are on a run, no objection can affect you, right? When you're confident, you're leveraging, you have a vision, you're positive, you're relentless, nothing can bother you. All right, now the science of handling objections. Before handling all objections, you want to build your confidence and belief through class trainings, right? So congratulations, let's give yourselves a round of applause because you're here. Let's go. Class trainings, this is it. And what's the best form of class trainings? In person or online? In person. So you might make sure if you're not at an office, get yourself to an office. If you don't have an office nearby, you know what I would do? Get people that are in the local area and have your home be an office. Get people together. There's magic in creating energy within people within our business. And then you build confidence through field training. I know sometimes it's a lot of times we have new people that come into the business like, I just want to come to the classroom trainings. I want to build my confidence through the classroom trainings, but because they don't have the confidence to go out in the field yet. But really, if you go out in the field right away, if you go out in the field faster, then you will build your confidence faster. If you build your confidence strictly through the classroom training, you're going to build your confidence more slowly, your belief more slowly. So who wants to be that Instapot? So you got to go on the field, right? To be the instant pot. The slow cooker is the class training. High energy wins. High energy wins. Any of you been to a Tony Robbins event? Yeah. What does he do? A lot of high energy. A lot of higher energy. But here's the thing. Yeah, I know he's like this all the time. I get my exercise from that.
Yeah.
But so when I always talk about how when you're doing the invitation or when you're prospecting somebody, especially if they know you, right? You don't want to be like Tony Robbins, honestly. You don't want to be over the top. You want to be that little bit more excited Anne, right? Because Anne's in IT, right? She sits at her desk. And if Anne started to act like Tony Robbins, her friends, her coworkers, her family will think she's crazy.
Yeah.
She's on something. Does that make sense? Oh, this is not a pyramid, this is a cult. Anyone heard that? Oh, that's a cult, right? We're not a cult. We're just excited people that want to chase after our dreams. So you have to think about that when you're talking to people. If they know you, be a little bit more excited than you usually are so that they understand, like, oh, there's something different about her. There's something different about him. Because high energy wins. Whoever asks the most questions controls the conversation. So when you're handling objections, always ask questions. It's a conversation, right? So I'll go over those objections later, but you want to also recognize and praise them because it's really hard to not like someone when they're constantly saying so many great things about them, right? Oh, you're young and beautiful. Thank you, Lamia. I love you. Right? But it's not like I'm not gonna really care. I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna like you more because I want you to tell me more good things, right? So when you're that person, be that person, that gives the compliments all the time, that praises them for all the little things, right? And then when you learn how to do that with your friends, with your prospects, you learn how to do that with your spouse, learn how to do that with your parents, you become an amazing human being. Does that make sense? All right. Identify something that your friend, your family member, your prospect would be interested in or somewhat interested in, right? So maybe they play football. Oh, that's great. I love football too. I don't know, but but maybe you see them, they're always dressed so sharp, right? I love your outfits. You're always such a great dresser. Just something that would make them feel that's genuine, right? Make them feel good. Maybe it's their physical appearance or look like clothing. Maybe it's their profession. Maybe they're doctors. Like, oh my gosh, you must be so smart. Like, just compliment them. Maybe it's their family. You have such a beautiful family. Or maybe it's their aspiration. Maybe they actually share with you their aspirations. Like, wow, you have such a big goal. You have such big dreams. You have such a big heart to want to help so many people, right? And maybe that's something that you can relate with them and help them with. So, etc. Right? Okay, I'm trying to go really fast because I really, really want you guys to practice. Master 2 simple ways to handle 90% or more of the objections is by using the feel, felt, found method. And if you ever deal with people that are in sales, they will probably know this method, right? So feel, felt, found. So basically, if they throw out an objection, you say, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found is, blah, 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 right? But if you deal with someone that's in sales, you don't want to say those exact words. You don't want to say, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Because they're going to know, right? They're going to know what you're doing. So you can change it up. You can say, I understand where you're coming from. I actually was in that position before. This is my experience. And however, this is what my experience after I went through the program, then this is what I've learned, right? So you can change it up in that way, so not using those words. So I appreciate your feeling. I felt the same way. That certainly makes sense. So use your own vocabulary, but basically have that category in mind. Explain how you feel, acknowledge how they feel, explain how you can relate to them, and then share with them what you've learned. You can also answer by asking a question, right? It's as simple as that. Just ask a question. Keep asking questions because again, if you ask the most questions and you're leading the conversation, whoever leads the conversation will get to the final result. So when you ask a question, always wait for the answer. So sometimes I remember when I was really new and I was trying to learn these handling objections, how to handle these objections, I would kind of like memorize the script and bum rush through all the questions and not give people a chance to answer. So you want to make sure that they have a chance to answer. Never jump in or back off the question, right? Okay, so some common objections. Is this a pyramid scheme or is this a pyramid? So how would you answer? By asking another question. What do you mean by a pyramid? That's what I always ask. So let me ask you, so this is one way to answer. So let me ask you about your work. You can take a screenshot later. There's gonna be another way. So let me ask you about your work. Is there anyone in your work who is below you in compensation? And who's above you? And who's above them? So again, you're gonna, after each of these questions, you wanna wait for their answer, right? What are the chances of you getting to CEO of your company? So you see in every company and even the government, even in church, right? Even in nonprofit organizations, there are different levels. That's what makes it a business and not a pyramid. Or you can say, do you know any company that doesn't operate like that? So if they say, what do you mean by a pyramid? Oh, when you recruit somebody and then they have to recruit somebody else and the person on top makes more money. Like, okay, do you know any company that doesn't operate like that? And they're like, no, I guess not, right? Doesn't your company recruit people all the time? And yes, every corporation does. And the problem is that that is almost impossible, right, for employees to become CEOs themselves. Right? They have to climb up. That's why they call it climbing the ladder, the corporate ladder. In WFG, you can go from where you are to CEO of the team if you focus and work hard. Wouldn't you like to be in business where you can dictate exactly how and when you get promoted? Right? So now you can take a screenshot of this. I will send a link to all of these answers though. And 3, 2, 1. All right. I will send you the link to these and we're gonna practice. I don't have time. What's keeping you so busy? Or you can say, oh, okay. After they give you all the reasons what's keeping them so busy, I understand many of our most successful associates initially felt the same way until they had a chance to see how WFG accommodates people with busy schedules, right? Or hey, I don't have time. What's keeping you so busy? I have this, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what? That is awesome. I understand. We definitely need to talk because our company is looking for successful, hardworking people to help with our expansion. And busy people are usually the ones that are successful, right? So when is the best time for us to get together? Or, I don't have time. That's awesome. I like busy people. Busy people get things done. Let's connect. Or I can say, I don't have time. That is awesome. You know what I found? People that don't have time, they prioritize what's most important. So when can we get together? Are finances and learning and growing your money important to you? Yes. Let's prioritize that. When's the best time for us to get together? I heard negative things about WFG. How many of you have gotten this objection before? Yeah. What did you hear? Oh, really? What did you hear? Someone told me, oh, someone was murdered by someone in WFG before. I was like, what in the world? But you know what? People can write anything that they want online. Does that make sense? So what did you hear? If it's a legitimate, like, something negative, right? Oh, that's not uncommon. We've heard that all the time. Oh, they recruit my mom. They recruited my thing. Someone didn't make it in WFG. Have you been to a restaurant or like maybe in this case, they had a bad experience, right? So have you been to a restaurant that you liked and one time the waiter or waitress had bad attitude, right? And the experience wasn't very great as it was before. So has that happened to you before? So that's a problem. That's probably what happened when they came across WFG before as well. So you might have run into someone that wasn't good or didn't have the right attitude or wasn't having a very good day, right? But does that make everybody in the business bad? Everyone at the restaurant bad? Right? No, not really. Or you can say, why don't we get together? I heard negative things about WFG. What did you hear? You know what? Why don't we get together on Zoom? Let's talk about it. And I can show you what WFG is really about, right? From my perspective. All right, some negative things. And I used the website, I Googled you and I saw negative things online. It's like, okay, like, let me just write something real quick, like Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not like, it's pretty factual. People do their research, but anybody can actually update it. So does it make it true facts? right? It's not, if it's not fact checked, then it's not like true facts, right? They can believe whatever they can believe whatever. There's somebody that sent me a link to Snopes. You know, Snopes, it's like it debunks like facts, different claims. And Snopes, it tells you like, oh, this is wrong, this was a lie, or this was not true, or this was kind of stretching the truth. So they sent me that. And it was still an opinion-based answer. So even Snopes, you have to go to reliable resources, right? So you can show them aegon.com, you can show them worldfinancialgroup.com, you can show them transamerica.com, you can show them so many different credible websites, right? So they can see. Okay, I'm not good at selling, or I don't want to sell anything. I'm glad you said that. We don't train salespeople, we train associates how to show our clients what their options are for making smart financial choices. For example, would I have to sell you on saving money each month or making sure you have enough money to put your children through college? I don't think I need to sell you on that, right? It's just, I'm just here to help you make the right decisions for that. So you can do that, or you can say, I understand sales is not necessarily a strong suit of mine either, but isn't it great that I don't need to be good at business to do well in this business? Because, you know, and then you can just share your own story. I was actually really shy, I was quiet, couldn't talk to people older than me, but the system, it helped me to learn, and I just invited them to events, right? How many of you have ever recommended a good movie before? Yeah. Good movie. The last movie that I saw was actually Deadpool and Wolverine. I really loved that movie. I saw it twice, and I got the second time I went, I got my friend to come with me because I was like, I want to see it again. So she came with me. So it's kind of like that, right? If you feel like something is so good, just invite them to come, right? And then the movie or the event, the WFG event, will do the work for you. And then you leverage other people at the office, they will do the work for you. So it's not that you have to sell anything. You just got to get them to come to the event, and the system will do it for you. This is awesome. It's an awesome business. How well are you doing in this business? How many of you have gotten that one? How well are you doing in this business? Right? Thank you for asking. I'm doing awesome. I've learned so much. I'm on a great team. My financial strategy plan has been laid out, and I'm following it, and I'm on my way, right, to financial freedom. I have already started to execute it, and I'm experiencing the financial rewards coming back. So you can talk about your experience, right? You don't have to talk about money. I mean, do you go to your friend that's in IT or in biotech? Like, how much do you make? What's your salary? That's like rude, right? You don't say that. So why do we give people permission to ask us how much money we make here? Or, thanks for asking, I'm doing awesome. What kind of results would you be looking for in both short-term and long-term? Do you want to make an extra 5,000 a month part-time? Do you want to make an extra 10,000? Do you want to replace your income? Let me help you get there. Let's set up a time, right? Or you can talk about other people. I like to talk about other people. When you come to the convention, you know how much people are making. But sometimes I don't want to scare them with the big numbers, like, so-and-so is making 7 million, or so-and-so is making 10 million right now. Not until they're like really established in the business do I start saying that. But if they're brand new and they can't relate to that big of an income yet, you talk about people that are in the office and where they got started. Oh, so-and-so was making $250,000 working at, Kaiser. Who am I talking about? And then he quit his job after 4 years. You can use those examples. I have to talk to my spouse. I understand that's important. You want him or her to be on the same page. Why don't you come by? Why don't I come by and talk to you both? Is 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. better for you? Right? I have to talk to my spouse. That's awesome. I tell people, have you ever played telephone? You ever played telephone or the telephone charades? We had that game at Jackie's house, the telephone charades, where you like turn around and you have to act out. Yeah. Or even just normal telephone. You go down the line and then you say one thing, you just say like, I don't know, animal crackers. And then by the time it gets to the 10th person, it's something completely different, right? So it's the same thing here. I know that you want to talk to your spouse, but if you've ever played telephone, you may not explain it correctly, and they might jump to conclusions and think that this is something else. So why don't we set up a time and let me talk to them with you there. How's that sound? 4 or 5 better for you. Okay. If you want to register in a class, okay, so I want to talk to my spouse. Maybe they're like, they've already seen the presentation. They're thinking like, oh, I don't want to say no to the recruiting. I don't want to join right now. And I'm using my spouse as an excuse, right? I need to talk to my spouse. But if you register, because you've got them there already, the minute that they leave the appointment, that's it, right? The excitement will drop. And the person that has the most energy will win, right? So if the appointment is done, there's no more energy. That energy is gone, right? The longer you wait, the energy will start to die down. So you're there, you gotta try everything that you can. Be relentless. If you want to register in a class college to learn about finance and it costs you $125 one time for the rest of your life, can you make that decision without asking your spouse? Do you think if you paid $125 for the rest of your life to learn about financial concepts that will help you grow your money, save on taxes, and retain more income for your household, for you and your spouse, do you think he would have an issue with that? It's hard to not say no, right? So why don't you get him or her on Zoom right now and we can talk. So again, it's that telephone example. All right. I know some people that got involved with WFG and they didn't do well. That's unfortunate. Let me ask you a question. Would you base your success on someone else's or your own? Right? Or sometimes I like to add, when they say, I know someone that got involved with WFG before and they didn't do well. How long were they in the business? Oh, like 3 weeks. Did they get licensed? Because you can't do well if you don't get licensed. Or if 3 weeks, did they go to the training? What happened? Oh, I don't really know. He just said he tried it and he like, okay, well, why don't we see for yourself and see how you would do? Because I'm sure you have different skills than them, right? Or maybe you have bigger goals and maybe you have bigger dreams that will keep you more focused and get you more prioritized. So why don't we talk and take a look at that? Because WFG is full of great people and that comes from the same background as you. We have coaches, teachers, pharmacists, nurses, etc., that actually applied themselves and actually made it work. So this is a long-winded way to just say that, like, use an example of someone that's similar to their background. So if you know somebody that's in sales, say, oh, this person was in sales too, and was actually able to leave his career after how many years and replace his income, retired his wife, blah, 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 right? So use someone, that's why it's so important to come to the convention, so important to come to Elite Circle, so important to come to every single event to get to know people and network with people within WFG, right? To collect stories, what I like to call the toolbox. All right, or you can say, do you think that every student goes to college, graduates? Wait for the answer. Does that make the school bad? Does that make the student bad? It's just the choices that people make that change their minds, isn't it? So, or what I like to say is, you know, does everybody that goes to the gym get skinny or fit or healthy? No. Does that make the gym bad? Does that make them bad? No, it's just maybe they don't have that much discipline, right? So let me ask you a question though. Can you control yourself? I'll give you the discipline. Basically, you as a leader, you hold them accountable, right? I'll work with you and I'll coach you and together we can get you to the top. Does that make more sense? So I like personally to use the gym example. All right, so what do? What stops people from making phone calls? It's usually fear, right? And a lot of people cross WFG, it's a fear of rejection. And rejection, it's not really like someone's gonna say no. How many times, like those of you who have been in the business, how many times has someone actually said no, stop calling? It's really rare, right? They actually give you objection after objection after objection. You just have to know how to handle it. But somewhere in our minds, we're taking that as an objection. Somewhere in our minds is we're taking that as rejection when it's actually just an objection. It's not a rejection, it's an objection, right? So, but we fear the rejection, but we translate objection as rejection. So we have to reframe our minds. We don't have a fear. It's actually one of the biggest things that kind of unlocked my mind was understanding that it's actually good when people ask questions. It's better for people to have objections and they're asking questions because they're curious. They want to know how this can work for them, or they're trying to absolve their own fears. So they're saying, make me feel comfortable with this so I can move forward. Make me feel comfortable with this. And if they don't ask you any questions, then I fear that more because they're going to say like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. Okay, let me join, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then the next thing you know, they ghost me. And I didn't get a chance to handle their objections. I didn't get a chance to give them the confidence that they need to move forward, right? So when you're handling objections, you're giving them confidence. So here's a quote that I actually had in Jackie's slide. What do I fear? I fear stagnation and lack of progress. I fear never reaching my potential and being average. I fear being forgotten, the past, yesterday's news. I fear giving up and being passed by, going softly into that good night. I fear letting those I love down, letting myself down. I fear settling, giving into that's just the way it is mindset. I fear dying without leaving my mark. I fear not feeling these fears anymore and just floating along, being numb, right? These fears feed me, they nourish me. They nourish my drive. I love my fear. So don't be afraid of the objection. It's not a rejection. It's just your own mind playing with you. So how do we overcome all these objections? How do we build our confidence? How do we overcome the fear? Is practice, 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 right? Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Practice, practice, practice will build your confidence. So with that, we're gonna go into break rooms. Okay, let me stop sharing. And I'm gonna put these slides in the chat. So what you're gonna do when you're in your break rooms, you're gonna go round robin. So those of you who have ever done the STC, no, sorry, ST, yeah, no, I've been listening to a lot of straight line thinkers and I'm getting my acronyms all wrong. So I'm forgetting what STC stands for. I was like straight line thinkers, no. Selling through curiosity.
Yeah.
Thank you. So selling through curiosity, if you've been in that, then you know what I'm talking about for a round robin. And here are the slides. Make sure everybody gets a chance to practice answering the question. So one person will ask the question, the next person will answer the question. So let's do this for like 15, 20 minutes. What do you think?
What about here? What's the questions here?
8:05, huh?
Are we gonna see the questions here? Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put them up. So let's do 15 minutes. 15 minutes. We'll end at 8:20.
Yeah.
I want to give people time to really drill it. Because some people I know you're not going to practice at home. I practiced at home. So practice, practice, practice. My SMD, my MD, he would scare me. He's like, Sheila, I'm gonna call you at 3 a.m. You better know how to answer. No. I'm just gonna call you randomly and you're gonna have to answer. But you have to be like second nature. It has to be.
Was it Ali?
Ali.
Yeah. I can remember. I can see him definitely.
He never did, but he scared me. He
That's why
scared me
you're
enough.
so good. That's why you're so good. That's it. I'm calling.
Thank you.
3 a.m.
There were times that he didn't call me at 3 a.m., but he would call me like in the middle of the afternoon. And he's like, Sheila, like, is this a pyramid scheme? I'm like, I'll just have to answer. But it has to be second nature. Okay, let me.
I love objection. I
Okay.
love objection.
Oh, yeah.
Objection is that I'm interested. It really is in our business. I love it.
Okay, we go. Here you go.
Alright.